let's talk to Evan in Washington.
Y-
Evan, you're live.
Yes, sir.
Hey! So give me just a second. Because I am doing this live and producing it, I was not able to talk and fill out your lower third to get your name in here. So let me just get
Oh,
this.
no worries.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me just type this in. And Evan, what did you want to talk about today?
Well, it wasn't last week, but the week before, there was a mild mentioning of Discworld series.
Oh, yeah.
And into this week, we're also talking a bit about self-worth and manner. At least for me, that's what's ringing. So the Discworld. I was raised in Mormonism and was highly illiterate. Okay, I was education deprived. But after I got married, after my mission, I started reading. And the Discworld novels was one of them. And my now ex-wife loved the Discworld novels.
Yeah.
So I was really excited about this, right?
Yeah, Terry Pratchett's incredible.
And yeah, he's amazing. Really amazing and dynamic in drawing out how people can be diverse. And one of the characters is a witch, okay? And she was born with all the traits of evil. And her twin sister was born with all the traits of goodness. And the evil one chose to do good things, and the one born with all the good powers chose to do bad things. In any event, we chose to name our children with their middle names of a character from a book who was dynamic that chose to be good anyway, in spite whatever. And Esme was the name of this witch. And
it's a beautiful
anyways, name. Yeah. Inside my head, this feels all big and powerful, and to the listener, probably really not. But for me, where this all links into was from birth up, my worth was predicated upon God.
Yeah.
I was quite young. I mean, not even 4, when I understood that there wasn't really anything I can do beyond pleasing him. Even that wasn't sufficient to mark my value. It was all just predicated on being obedient to him. And when I started having kids, and we're throwing out these ideals, it really throws a wrench in your psychology, because that was a healthy platform. Be good despite the whatever. And anyways, self-worth was the pivot. It's the one thing, in spite my abuse of my childhood, I always knew, granted it was because of God, I knew that I was worthy of love. No matter how I was treated by my parents or anybody else, I was worthy of love. And it was a quandary that was the pivot that allowed me to let go of God. That even if he didn't find me worthy anyway, I was worthy. And it was in part, I don't want to say the Discworld novels, but my children and watching them grow. And while they didn't understand the deepness of those names we gave them, as parents we did. And we worked hard to guide them towards that. And it really is pivotal towards my health now as an adult. So anyways, that's my ramble. That's my 2 cents.
I think that's so beautiful. I love that. It is absolutely a head trip. And speaking to people who were really, really deep in the church and felt that they only had value because of, the God who gave them value. It's
right.
It's tragic, when you base your self-worth on that. And I definitely do think that a self-worth that's grounded in what we are creating for each other and what you create for yourself
Right.
It's so much more cathartic isn't the word. There's a tangible
Mhm.
quality to it, you know? And
Yes,
yeah.
I understand what you're saying. A word is eluding me as well
Right.
to fill the spot, but
You know what yeah, there's a,
um,
um,
nostalgic comes to mind, but that isn't quite right either.
no, I'm
Um,
sure the live chat will get it. But yeah,
Ingrained,
it's visceral. Visceral is the word.
visceral. Mm.
Yeah, there's a visceral quality to creating value for yourself and recognizing the value in others and seeing that the value others have is the value that we are giving and creating for each other. And it's beautiful.
Well, one of the uh, Eric, one of the things I like about your show,
Hmm.
I like even Matt Dillahunty. Love him. Love the platform he provides. He has an arena. I don't want to degrade his work, but I want to shine a little light on yours and even Mindshift. I can see it in his work and SR. But I think it's easy for us to forget what we're indirectly asking people to do when we even convey the notion that we don't believe God exists. What we're asking them to do is basically challenge their self-worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where that comes from. And in the moment, from my perspective, when I was a believer, I mean, it felt very aggressive. It felt like something I needed to stand up and fight like a lion or something, on
Yeah.
an emotional level, that's where it was at, because it's your existence is all predicated on that. Right now isn't your existence. After is your existence.
Yeah. And also you go through the hardest part of it, right? When you're deconstructing your faith, you're coming up against all of the whats and whys, and answering them can be so difficult that when you finally do get those answers, and you're finally ready, odds are you've interacted with people who have thrown your lack of knowledge in your face as a reason for, oh, well, you don't believe just because you haven't done the work, and
You do get a lot of that.
oh, I
Or
absolutely
you're
have.
angry is the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
one. You're just angry.
Well, yeah.
However they phrase it, that's what it comes down to.
And it is justified. It is understandable. We just also grow through it, and I don't think that it's necessarily throwing shade at all, because I feel like it needs all of us.
Yeah.
People do have that angry reaction often when they leave their faith at first,
Yeah.
and honestly,
You
like,
know,
I'm not Matt Dillahunty, and I could never be Matt Dillahunty, and there is a need for that. And I'm grateful that he's doing that, because I couldn't. And I'm glad that I'm here and me doing what I'm doing, because I think that there's value in what I'm doing as well. So,
right.
and
Well, I know that I needed it, even after I'd left.
I did too.
There are other people besides you, like I mentioned, that try to nurture this arena, and I'm glad to see it growing.
Me
I got
too.
one more side. I'm sure you got other callers, but
Yeah.
aside from like in the thick of the debate, okay,
Okay.
that's not the arena that I think we're going to have fruit on an individual level. It's literally going to be with your neighbor. It's going to be with the clerk that's ringing up your groceries. It's going to be for the person who just did a nice thing, waited for you in line to let you go, or this or that, and the further I've gotten away from believing in God, just like people could spot me out as a Mormon, people can kind of spot you out as an atheist.
Yeah.
The little things you don't say, and that
Yeah.
provides a degree of tension, when
does.
the teller lady that's 80 says, "God bless you," and you don't say it back, it can create a problem. And I've found I'm unwilling to walk with who I am. If I don't believe, I ain't going to be tender for you, but I ain't going to be rude either. And so here's what I found. Here's what I found out. I'll finish this and then I want to hear is I'll say to that little old lady, she say, "Bless you." She was great with the groceries. I'll say, "Gosh, you've been an angel." I don't even believe in all that. And I think so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You
And it
call
makes
them an
them.
angel, especially that generation of of people. You got to mark, a 16-year-old wouldn't take it the same way, but, you know, a full-grown fledged adult is going to receive that most of the time. That's been my encounter. And what that has done for my community over a year or 2 or 3 or 4, your community absorbs that. And it kind of emanates from you as a persona of who you are. And it has opened up doors for me to have conversations with the people at the library later. Hey, I saw you talk with that lady. Literally, that kind of thing happens to me now. So that's what we need to do, I think, is just literally stand firm with who you are, but let it be safe for them to believe. Let it be safe. Let it be good.
When appropriate. There are times
when appropriate. You challenge the beliefs, absolutely. Challenge that it's even real or not, but let it be safe for the individual to express themselves to you personally.
What I will say is, like when someone says "bless you" to me, or they say "I'll pray for you" or "God bless," you know, "I'll pray for you" can be mean-spirited sometimes, but
it can be. It's a weapon.
Yeah, but one of the things that I'll say is, I don't actually believe, but I want to take that in the spirit that it was given, and I appreciate the kindness you're expressing there. You know, and calling that a kindness that you're recognizing and seeing in that other person, making them feel seen. I've never actually had a bad experience with that. I've never had somebody push back or feel bad about that. And you're absolutely right. Gosh, before I was ever on YouTube, I was really, really active in the community that I was living in. In fact, I was really active in the school district. I had a Santa suit, and I would dress up as Santa and go read stories to the kids at the libraries. And I, would help the police department collect toys for kids who weren't going to get toys on Christmas. And so we'd hand out toys, or, worked with a local church to collect food for Thanksgiving for families who couldn't necessarily afford a Thanksgiving. And not saying, you need to come in and get preached to, but I found churches who were collecting food so that you could give it to them, right? You could give it to that family in need so they could go home and make a meal with their family, right? And doing that, I often was told, you're doing the Lord's work. It's beautiful. God bless. And we're reflecting Jesus's love. And I'd say, I'm actually a non-believer. And just that, what are they going to say? How can you be a good person when you're standing there helping others, arm in arm, side by side, shoulder to shoulder, working to make the world a better place? It
opens up conversation. It allows for it in a manner. It calls for it. Without you calling the conversation, you being there calls for the conversation to happen. But I think too, especially when it's used as a weapon, when someone's just trying to rub the wound, as it were. Maybe not these exact words, but I'll just say thank you. And just say, may all that is good fall upon you. May all that is good fall upon you, because you're not invoking any blessing from a God. You're just stating what you hope, and that's just your own heart. And what are they going to say?
Evan, your Christianese is still very fluent. You know that?
Oh, yes. I'm very fluent in my Christianese. I have not forgotten the lingo. Yeah.
No. It's so funny being in non-believer spaces and not hearing say, this is on my heart. Walking with a thing. All of those pieces are just so telling of the community that you are in. I think it's really fun. I see you, Evan, and I'm grateful for you. And if someone says, I'll pray for you, I think the most confrontive that I've been is I'll say, I want to take that in the spirit that it was given. And that does not appear to be in a very kind spirit. And I don't appreciate that. The intent that you have behind what you said, I think is really, really uncharitable or unkind. And what are they going to say? No, I meant it. No.
Well, I think you're right that there is there is a time and place. There's always the person, right? There's going to be the person where, you know, you don't have to be all prickly and lower yourself down to the level. You can just be direct and straightforward. Hey, I'm going to just take this for what it really was.
Yeah.
I don't receive you, you know? And on the other hand, though, sometimes that's just all they're wanting. That's what they're wanting. And so you got to read the room, you know, is it just you and them, or is it everybody? And who is it that's listening? Are they going to be able to grasp the depths of what you're saying or not?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
But I think you're right. I think you're right, because I don't want to convey that we need to just always be la, everything's good and pretend. Sometimes we just do need to say no. No.
Yeah. So I
see you.
and also it totally depends on, you know, where you are in the context, because I lived in Texas for a long time, and being in Texas, it was a big deal just to admit to someone that you were a non-believer. And now I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I live in Portland, and I can be a lot more detailed in things out here because it's not the same as living in Texas. It's not. I know I've got a couple of other callers that I'd love to talk to, but Evan, thank you for calling. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'm just across the river. We might bump into each other.
Oh my gosh, are you in the Couve?
I am. We're on. I would tell you personally, but I'm basically in Vancouver. I'm not, but yes.
Okay, Evan, go to the Discord. I'll see you in the after show. We'll talk.
All right. I'll do the Discord. I don't do that stuff. I might even have to download the app, my friend, but I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that.
The show's going to be going on for at least another half hour. I hope to see you there.
Exactly. All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. All of that from a prompt of wanting to talk about Discworld. It is just so fun. If anybody has not picked up Terry Pratchett, I do recommend you check it out, because that is a really, really it's just nice. You know, sometimes you just need something nice like that.